Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to Trail Talk. This is my breaking news just in backdrop, right? Yeah. I'm here alone. My buddy Mary, who's usually on screen with me, at least on Wednesdays, is behind the camera today. So anyway, but welcome to Trail Talk. We're going to talk about this really cool program that we're going to be hosting here at the Heritage Center called Let's Talk About It. But before we talk about Let's Talk About It, I want to tell you kind of the background of that program. And so I have to start with the Oklahoma Humanities. That is an organization. They use the humanities, history, literature, ethics, and culture to inspire fresh thinking, promote civic engagement, and strengthen our democracy, which I thought was a really interesting take on the role of the humanities in society, that it would have an impact on democracy. But I do agree that the arts are very important, and really everyone should have access to experiencing the arts on some level. Anyway, the Humanities, Oklahoma Humanities is an independent nonprofit that began in 1971. They, at that time, joined 5 other states. The Oklahoma Humanities joined 5 other states in a program that was developed by the National Endowment for the Humanities to launch the first state humanities councils. So there you go. Oklahoma was a top 10. They were actually a top 5 in that back in 71. So they were originally called the Oklahoma Humanities Task Force, and they did seminars, radio and television broadcasts. They brought scholars, public figures, and citizens together to discuss humanities themes. And today, Oklahoma Humanities provides funding and resources to support lifelong learning and a vibrant culture life for all of Oklahoma's 77 counties. So that is really awesome. I mean, when you think about Oklahoma having like 2 major urban areas, Oklahoma City and Tulsa, the rest of our state is virtually rural. I mean, Lawton is a large city, of course, but still, we are a rural state. And to know that the humanities, through this Oklahoma Humanities nonprofit organization, that they reach all 77 counties, I think that that's awesome. And pass the word, because there has to be some kind of a program that could enhance your life, or someone or a friend or relative who lives maybe way out in the Panhandle. I'm thinking about probably, the least populated part of our state, that they still have access to the humanities through this organization. Their mission is to strengthen communities by helping Oklahomans learn about the human experience, understand new perspectives, and participate knowledgeably in civic life. So, okay, when you put it like that, that is a big part of democracy, right? That we understand new perspectives, that we can't just I can't just put what I believe, or how the way I was raised, my worldview, my experiences, I can't put those on someone else, expecting them to, mirror me. They have a different experience in life, and so their perspective is going to be different. And it's important for us to engage with people from different walks of life and with different backgrounds and things, so that we do learn, and then we can participate knowledgeably in our civic life, our communities. And it seems like more harmony would be there, if we really practice that. So I'm kind of into this Oklahoma Humanities thing. I'm kind of really enjoying getting to know this organization. So they have several programs. One is called the Brain Box, and it's a podcast. I haven't listened to any of them yet, but the titles are very interesting. I just found out about this like within the last week or so, and I just found out about another podcast, and so I can only listen to so many a day. And so I have not listened to one, though. I'm going to recommend that you look at that if you are into podcasts. They offer humanities grants, which is a way for people to get free money to bring humanities to their community. So, I mean, look up Oklahoma Humanities. They have a program called Museum on Main Street that is a collaboration with the Smithsonian Institution, which I think sounds like a pretty cool thing. They have the Oklahoma Humanities Magazine. I think it's a twice a year publication. This says spring, summer of 2022. This is a sample issue I got with my box of books for the Let's Talk About It. And it is pretty cool. And I have to put that aside too, so I don't get lost in some of the stories in there. And then they have the Let's Talk About It reading and discussion program. So Let's Talk About It started in 1985, and it's basically a book club. I have heard about book clubs, you know, forever. And as an adult, always kind of wanted to be a part of one. And I guess I just never have made time for it. But now that we're hosting a book club here at the Chisholm Trail Heritage Center, I'm right in the middle of it, because I'm going to be, I have a title, but I will be at all of the meetings that we have. And we are going through a program called The Cowboy. And funny how that goes right along with Chisholm Trail Heritage Center, right? Anyway, so what happens during one of the Let's Talk About It meetings? Well, typically it's theme driven, and they have like 50 different themes, and they encourage nonprofit organizations to be the host, and then they fund a portion, at least a portion. In some cases it may be the whole thing. Oklahoma Humanities does, to help encourage and again bring the humanities to your community. So they have for each of these evenings that you meet, like I said, there's 4 to 5 books typically in a program. Ours has 5 books. There is a scholar who comes, and that scholar introduces the book. The author tells some background, maybe about that time in history or the author's life, you know, something that will play a role in a deeper understanding of the book, why it was written, or the person who wrote it, something like that. And then they do that to encourage a deeper discussion of the book. And of course, everyone is encouraged to come to, in our case, the Heritage Center, pick up a free copy of the book to take home and read, which you will then return once you're finished with it. And then there's this lively conversation that I fully anticipate having with all of the readers and the scholar, and just kind of discuss what you, I guess, maybe new ideas you have, or a new understanding from the book, or just important things that stood out to you. I mean, I don't think there are hard, fast rules about how a book club really works. I hope not anyway, because I don't know those rules. So we're just going to kind of do it, you know, however it works out. We have been promoting this a lot, our Let's Talk About It program, hoping to get interest from people in the community or just the surrounding communities or whatever. We will be meeting one Monday night a month beginning July 11th, which is next Monday. And we will meet July, August, September, October, and November. And it will start at 7 p.m. And we're going to, I'm going to show you the books that we're going to be talking about. But in talking about The Cowboy, The thing that is really super cool about this series to me is that the Oklahoma Humanities, I love this idea, they're bringing to light, helping bring to light how we as a culture have, in the US, we have romanticized the cowboy and taken him basically out of the context of being a hardworking guy who just rode it on the trail or worked cattle on a ranch into being a hero and you know, someone to emulate with your life, and we raised him on a pedestal, and all of a sudden the cowboy has all of the virtues that you would bestow on someone who they're going to always make a good decision and right wins out, and you know, just all of those kinds of things. And that was done through books and of course movies, the Western movie genre, you know, probably of all time, likely the most popular. I mean, I don't know if I've actually seen that in print, but I mean, think about it. Western movies for years and years. Well, I think those are the only kinds of movies besides an early Disney movie that I may have ever seen as a child. That's just what we watched. Yeah, true. Yeah. My mom and dad watched that Western movie channel continuously at their house. I mean, I grew up listening to country music. I mean, you think about the impact of the life of a cowboy on our culture. And you know, it didn't just stay here in the US. The cowboy fandom, I guess you could say, I mean, spread around the world. And people, like when LaQuincy Reed was here and he was showing that relief that he had made of a man and a woman, and the man was wearing Western apparel. And I thought that it was an African-American cowboy. And he said, no, this couple there's in Africa. The Western wear influence was in Africa, probably in the early 1900s. It's kind of fascinating to think about the far reach that the cowboy has had on the world. And so our study going through these books, the books themselves are very entertaining. It's not like we're reading a textbook or anything like that. But they will, I think, help us to see what the real cowboy looked like, and then give us a glimpse of the early writings about the romanticized cowboy, the heroic cowboy that we all just kind of default to, you know. And so anyway, I'm very excited about the readings. The first book, which is July 11th, is called Cowboy Life: Reconstructing an American Myth. And this book is so easy to read. It's an anthology. And if you're not familiar with that, that means it's just a collection of short stories. They're, I don't know, 5, 10 pages long, each of them. It has pictures in it too. So the reading is not very heavy in this first book. And in our promotional, we had Caroline Larson as the scholar who was coming, but she is not going to be able to be here. So Bruce Treadaway, who is going to be here in August as well, is coming to be our scholar next Monday night, July the 11th. I really hope you guys, you know, even if you haven't read the book, just come and join us in conversation if the life of the cowboy is at all interesting to you. And so that's our first one.
We might lose our screen for just a second.
Okay, yeah, we're going to switch out the battery on our camera. We're hoping we don't lose connection, but if we do, sit tight, please.
Oh my, sorry.
Yeah. So the camera is still giving us something there. but it's not. Here we go. Look at that. Professional as always around here. Okay. So am I?
You're on there.
Yeah. All right. So that's the first book, this anthology. Oh, and I was going to tell you guys. Do what?
Look at this.
Oh, okay. I was going to tell you guys that Joseph McCoy is the man who authors the first book in this anthology. And if you're, familiar with the Chisholm Trail, he was one of the men who's credited with getting all the cattle drives started to begin with. Oh, that's another thing. Originally the cowboys were a part of a money-making venture. That's all that it was. It was driving cattle to the railways to ship out so that money could funnel itself back into Texas. That was what the original cowboy was all about. And so that's a far cry from the cowboy that we're familiar with when we think about it. I mean, look at rodeos even. Rodeos have spun out of a cowboy life. Something that cowboys used to just do for a little fun has now become a professional sport. Anyway, I will move on. So that's the first one. The second one, Bruce Treadaway, again, will be our scholar. It's called The Virginian. You might be familiar with this. I think there was like a TV series or a movie probably about this one at one time. But this is by Owen Wister. And so that's going to be the second one. And that will be on August the 8th, again at 7 p.m. here at the Heritage Center. The third book is called The Log of a Cowboy. It's written by a man named Andy Adams. And this book, I'm not really familiar. This title was not familiar to me at all. But kind of the synopsis of the book is that he was a former, it portrays the cowboy life more accurately, more like this first one does. The anthology is very what
Firsthand.
Yes, yeah, like firsthand kind of thing, and more true to the actual working cowboy. I think this is the one that they said somehow. Oh yeah, it's described as a plotless novel. So the romance, the heroism, all of those kind of things are kind of left out of this book. So it's much more true to life. The third is called Monty Walsh. When I was telling my mom and dad about this, they were like, oh yeah, Tom Selleck played Monty Walsh. I guess there was a TV series or something about Monty Walsh. And so you all may be familiar with this book, with this story. And then the last one, drum roll please, the epic Lonesome Dove, Pulitzer Prize winning book by Larry McMurtry. Of course, you're familiar with the miniseries starring Charles Duvall and I don't know who all else, but I remember him specifically because we have a portrait of him here at the Heritage Center that someone painted as his Gus was the character he played in Lonesome Dove. Anyway, yeah, it's thick. So if you want to join us for Lonesome Dove, you might think about coming on up and getting the book. I think it's going to take a little while to read. But like I said, you know what? You could probably cheat and watch the miniseries if you really weren't too worried about or weren't interested in reading it. But I mean, it's going to be about the discussion. It's going to be about the study of the cowboy life. So I want to encourage you to come participate, just show up and see what it's like. I really think we're going to have a great time. I forgot to tell you the dates. Log of the Cowboy is September the 12th. Monty Walsh is October 10th. And then the last one, Lonesome Dove, is November the 14th. Now, I think we probably will make some of this available to you, but they go on and give a whole list of other reading, some nonfiction, some fiction. They even include movies to watch. Yeah, The Virginian, 1929. So that one's a little older. Monty Walsh, this says 1970. Maybe it was redone or something. Lonesome Dove, 1989. Oh, they have the Cowboys. Remember that epic John Wayne where he has all those young boys drive his cattle? That's such a good one. The Culpeper Cattle Company. That's a good one. Red River, The Tall Men, Will Penny. Oh, these are all good. And then a whole list of cowboy music, Gene Autry, Michael Martin Murphey, cowboy songs, Sons of the Pioneers. Oh, I grew up listening to the Sons of the Pioneers, such good music. So anyway, I mean, we are gonna go deep dive around here on cowboys, and we would love for you all to be a part of that with us. This is the kind of symbology kind of thing for the Oklahoma Humanities. And, you know, that there are a lot of, because they're a nonprofit, they receive money that they in turn distribute to others like us so that we can participate in programs like Let's Talk About It. And then other organizations give on a state level, like the Oklahoma City University, the McCaslin Foundation, and of course, the National Endowment for the Humanities. So we just, you know, we're thrilled for these organizations that have the money to give so that a nonprofit like Oklahoma Humanities and like the Chisholm Trail Heritage Center can offer next level humanities opportunities in our community. So we sure do hope you guys will join us, and you don't have to come to all of them. Pick one, pick two, just show up, get a book. It just whatever works for you. We're going to be super flexible around here. And so I'm going to see you guys tomorrow with Anna Davis, who is, she is a historical interpreter at the Pawnee Bill Ranch and Museum in just outside of Pawnee, Oklahoma. I listened to a podcast with her and the executive director this last week. It was on a podcast called A Very Okay Podcast, which is about everything Oklahoma. Okay, Oklahoma. It's a good one too. Anyway, join us tomorrow and see what kind of super cool historical information you'll learn about Pawnee Bill and everything that they had going on at their ranch, and just their super interesting lives. He and his wife, Gordon and May Lilly, were their real names. I learned that from the podcast. Anyway, Anna Davis tomorrow, 3 o'clock. We sure hope you'll join us, and be sure and think about Let's Talk About It too. So anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Happy trails.